Alright class, today we're going to be studying biochemistry. That's the biology means study of, chemistry means elements. Here's your joke of the day. What did two amino acids with diarrhea do to each other? They formed pepto bonds, like Pepto-Bismol. Not very good joke. When we're looking at biochemistry, it's important to look at organic compounds. Organic means it has the element carbon in it. The carbon on your periodic table. All life forms are based on carbon. You say carbon-based life forms. You can look at monomers. The prefix mono, like hand in Spanish, means one. Those are single units. Poly, like a polygon, means many sides. Polymers means many units. And isomers mean the units that are linked together. Iso means the same. So if you look at, say, sucrose or table sugar, there are two of the same molecules of glucose. Next, we're going to talk about the main types of biomolecules. The first one is the carbohydrates. Think about the word. Carbo means carbon. Hydrate means to do with water, if you hydrate yourself. So all carbohydrates have to have carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen. Main use of carbohydrates are for energy. That's why you see people that carbohydrate load when they eat a lot of pasta before a big race or a big soccer match. That's because it has a lot of carbohydrates in it. Your main simplest form of carbohydrates are called monosaccharide. Remember, mono means one. The structure will be one chain of carbon atoms. The types of monosaccharides are glucose. That's the main energy molecule that plants make for photosynthesis. Fructose, that's in fruit. And galactose, that's actually in cheese and dairy products. They also help make enzymes work and remember, main source of energy. Disaccharides, di means two. Think about di and bisector means two. Diagonal means it splits something in half or two. Maltose is the main one. That's in grains. That's actually a glucose and glucose molecule connected together. Lactose is in milk. You might hear people that are lactose intolerant. That means they don't have the enzymes to break down the milk. It's actually glucose and galactose together. Sucrose is the most common type of disaccharide. That's just normal table sugar, the white sugary powder you see. It's actually glucose and fructose. Finally, you have your polysaccharides. Again, poly means many. Saccharide means sugars. These are our complex carbs. These take longer to break down, so they make you feel fuller longer. Here you think starches and like breads and pasta. Glycogen, that's animal starch. And you also have cellulose or fiber. What's interesting about fiber is it actually doesn't have any calories in it, so it doesn't actually give you any energy, but it takes a long time for your stomach and intestines to digest the fibers. Some of it's actually indigestible, and that's what allows a lot of energy to get formed. So essentially the way it works is you have a polysaccharide, which is many links of these carbon chains. It has a lot of stored energy in it, and as you break apart the bonds of it, you release an enormous amount of energy. The next molecules we're going to be talking about are lipids. Another word for that are fats. Fats are more for long-term energy storage. There was an Atkins diet you might have heard of, where people purposely ate a low amount of carbohydrates, but they ate mostly fatty foods. They could eat bacon and eggs, but you can't have pancakes with it because those are carbohydrates in it. There is some results that actually could help with this, but then there's other molecules at play that you might get too much, like cholesterol. Lipids are found in hormones and actually your cell membranes. That's what allows transport of materials. It's also used for insulation. A lot of bears, for instance, they have a lot of fat in their bodies to withstand temperature change. Also for protective covering. You actually want to have some fat near your belly because that's where all your main organs are, and it could protect you if you get hit there. Types of lipids are your triglycerides. Tri means three. Glyceride has to do with your fat molecule. These are composed of three fatty acids. You're going to have a non-polar group. That means they don't combine with other molecules. And you have your carboxyl or polar group that has slightly positive and negative ends to it, which makes it combine with a lot of things. This is a glycerol molecule. You notice it's a hydrocarbon. There's a lot of energy that takes up time to break up the bonds of these molecules. The types of triglycerides, one are saturated. That means you have only carbon-carbon bonds with one shared atom between it. They're also called hydrocarbons. These are the type of fats you need to worry about because it actually raises your cholesterol levels. Animal fats, tropical oils like palm oils and so on, coconut oils have a lot of saturated fats. Whenever you have a double carbon bond, so in this case I have carbon sharing 2 electrons with another carbon, you're going to have less room for your hydrogens. And that's what makes it mono, because you only have one double carbon bond. Plant oils like olive oils, stuff like that, vegetable oil, have more monounsaturated fat. These are better fats for you in general because they lower your cholesterol. They make it better for your heart and capillaries. Last type of main biomolecule are called proteins. Proteins are more of our building blocks. They're helpful for building muscle, building bone structures, even cell parts. It's composed of amino acids. That's our monomer, or the smallest part of the protein. There's 20 different amino acids that our body has. Some are essential. That's based on what we need in order to live. Some are not essential. That means our body could produce them on their own. Enzymes are another type of protein that we'll see shortly. Enzymes are actually a type of amino acid. They act like catalysts to help speed up chemical reactions. If any of you guys ever take a multivitamin, Flintstone pills and whatnot, you want to be able to eat some food with it because the food has enzymes to help you bring those nutrients to your body. The way that enzymes work, it's similar to a lock and key model. So let's say this is what our enzyme looks like. That could be like our lock, so to speak. It will only work with specific proteins that would be able to fit into that lock. Just like this. If I had a different lock that might look like this, it's obviously not going to fit in as well, so it's not going to work with that particular enzyme. Enzymes work with one protein. You also have your nucleic acids. That's what proteins are actually made of. They're used to store information. Think about DNA. Stands for deoxyribonucleic acid. They're composed of nucleotides. Nucleotides are your adenine, thymine, cytosine, and guanine. Those are the main molecules that are used for your information about your body. Some examples are DNA, that stores your information in your cells. Your RNA helps use that information from the DNA to build proteins. Your RNA is a monomer of a nucleic acid. Finally, you have your vitamins. Vitamins are organic molecules. They have to have at least carbon in it. They act as coenzymes. That means that they work with your enzymes to be more effective. You don't need many vitamins, but if you have a well-rounded diet, you'll be able to eat most of the vitamins you need. Some people become vitamin deficient if they eat too much of the same foods. Alright class, so that's just a quick overview of the different biochemicals that are important for your body. If you're interested in building muscle, maybe losing fat, it's important to know the different biochemicals and what they do in your bodies. If you have any other questions, leave a comment down below. Feel free to look at some of the other videos on energy, photosynthesis, protein synthesis with DNAs in my YouTube playlist.